Okay, so we're back here on a different save file. You might notice my high level.
You know that?
Shut the fuck up. I'm thinking, I'm stinking. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna find a nice, cozy place to do some light reading.
Why the hell would I do that?
And then when we meet 9S next time, we're gonna be like, I was catching up on some reading.
Not happening.
Some reading?
And we'll show him our fucking My Little Pony book or whatever.
What the fuck, V? Are you mentally disabled?
Yes, Nero, I do have a disability. My IQ is too high.
Fucking...
I'm gonna go to...
That is probably the best Maxwell video of the ones I've seen, because I can't
ones you've
see
seen, yes.
the fucking...
So, we have some reading to do. We have this much reading to do.
No.
There's one weapon I don't have yet. We're gonna get that maybe in this episode. We'll see how much time it takes to read the stories. But we're gonna start off with Faith. In the capital of a distant eastern land, there lived a poet who was devoted to his art, but his words failed to touch the hearts of the people, and he could make no profit from them. Soon, his life became unbearably hard. It's hard being an artist, when no one cares about your art.
Yes.
Seeing the limits of his talent, the poet chose to abandon the pen and work the land instead. Soon, his lily-white skin began to grow dark, and his once frail body became sinewy and tough.
Did he put on blackface?
No, he just spent time in the sun. Getting a tan is not blackface.
Well, it depends how big of a tan you get.
Shut up. He eventually married a kind woman, and several years later they had a child. As the peaceful, uneventful days went on, the man began to feel that there could be no greater happiness in life. Or so the poet wrote before he put his pen down, swallowed the paper whole, and prayed that the next life might turn out so well. He then took Faith, already stained with the blood of another, and plunged it deep into his chest. So I think that sets a precedent for what the weapon stories are going to be like. But Iron Pipe is special.
Iron Pipe is the NieR
Yes.
replicant weapon.
That you use in the beginning. Of course, remember that Replicant hadn't been released in the West yet.
So this is Gestalt.
This story references the brother in the Japanese and the father in English is definitely a reference to the first game. Dad, if you're cold, I can give you my hat. You're the best father in the world, after all. Dad, if you're hungry, you can have my cookie. You're my favorite person in the world, after all. Dad, if you're scared, I can sleep by your side. You're my closest friend in the world, after all. Fuck. So please don't go anywhere, alright, Dad? Don't leave your Yona all alone, okay? So, full on with name and everything. Yeah, pain.
Sad.
Beast Bane.
God damn that.
Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses. The middle princess wasn't very bright, but was renowned by all as a great beauty. Once she came of age, she was married off to the king of a neighboring nation. Let me just check that. Yes. That we're actually recording. I'm not just reading out loud to nobody. Except you. You don't matter. The neighboring king adored his new wife and treasured her looks above all else. He gave the middle princess 6 new dresses and 8 fresh flowers every day, and his love caused her beauty to shine all the more. The middle princess did all she could to remain beautiful for her king, but she knew time would eventually catch up with her, as it did for all. So after much hard thought, she developed a cunning plan. The middle princess had herself stuffed and mounted so she could remain beautiful for all time. The king wept joyful tears at the sight, but alas, 2 years later, war broke out and her body was crushed under the rubble of the castle. So, that's a bit extreme.
Well, what is it? Well, Germanic fairy tales eat your heart out.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, no, it's not as fucked as German fairy tales, though.
Probably not.
Gunther, eat your soup. I will not eat the soup. Ah, too bad you died.
A shame. The girl lay there on the day of her wedding. Her parents and beloved were dead, and she herself had been violated in front of their corpses. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
As she swore to kill those who had done this terrible deed, a shining songbird appeared. "Allow me to grant your wish," said the bird. "Wish upon this dagger, and never forget this hatred that you feel." The girl grasped the weapon and spat out a tearful curse. I vow not to forget. Please, give them a painful death. Time passed, and eventually she got her revenge. Years later, when she was an old woman, the songbird appeared anew. What of your vow? It asked. But she did not understand, and come to think of it, what became of her beloved dagger? That night, bandits broke into her house, assaulted her daughter, and murdered her grandchild. The songbird reappeared with a single question. How long will your hatred burn this time? You promised. Never forget the hatred. Shame. Ancient Overlord. One day, a young girl's village was sacked by bandits. To protect her family, she took up a dagger her father had found in the mountains and killed one of them, an act that shocked her family, but the bandits fled, never to return. 5 years passed, then 10, then 20. Though the family she protected began to grow old, the girl never aged. Eventually the other villagers began to shun her. With no one to turn to, she finally left her village and began to wander the earth, visiting many strange lands in the process. As the years passed, her skill and fame as a master swordfighter grew to legend. Eternal life, a powerful weapon, and boundless experience, she used these talents to become queen of a nation. And yet, there was emptiness in her life, for she still desired the kindness her family denied her after that fateful day.
Sacked.
That's just sad.
Yeah.
Type 4 O-Sword. If I remember correctly, most Yora weapons have some connection to actual lore. So Yora R&D Team Journal, August 29. Held a progress report meeting for the new weapon. Considering how many observers we have from the other orbiting satellites, I can tell they expect a lot from us. We got December 10. We had our first core installation experiment today. Saw some troubling signs, including issues with unexpected irregular output and core perimeter defenses. January 8, the circus of 3 consecutive staffers burned out after attempting to remove the core's protection. I've requested replacement personnel. January 15, Command pulled the plug on our project. The weapon will go into official operation with the core still sealed. So yeah. That might be in reference to the ability of this weapon, which is energy charge. Most weapons unlock something special on level 4. This is energy charge. The Type 4 weapons will store electricity when not in use. And then when you swing it, they'll have extra electric damage for a little while. The Type 3 sword.
That one's cool.
Yeah. Craftsman's weapons were neither flashy nor attractive, but they never once failed him in battle. This reliability afforded him a never-ending stream of loyal clients. Yet something nagged at the craftsman. Though he'd forged many a weapon, he'd only tested them on pigs and cows. He wondered what it might feel like to use them on another human being. The craftsman took a sword to a battlefield and slashed at corpses, disappointed at how easily the sword slid through them. It wasn't satisfying at all. He wanted to really feel like he was ripping through flesh. The craftsman modified a sword in search of that feeling, not thinking at all of the pain it would cause, until one night a bandit broke into his home, snatched the weapon up, and showed him exactly how effective it was.
Huh?
A lot of bandits in these stories.
Yes, a lot
I've
of
noticed.
bandits. Murderous bandits.
Ooh, and here we go with the Virtuous Contract, which is of course the starting weapon for 2B. How long can I fight amidst this bloody vortex of a battlefield? How long, I wonder? How long can I continue to protect what I love amidst this endless war? How long, I wonder? How long can I continue to believe in a world laden with deceit and folly? How long, I wonder? How long can I lie to myself as I despair the dark future of this world? How long, I wonder? And this is definitely...
Hey, look at the background.
Yes.
Kind of feels like the forbidden background thoughts of our consciousness.
You could see it like that.
Like it's forbidden for yourself.
Yeah, and you might remember we heard that recently that your name is blah-di-da-di-da. Should normally be this, but you should be to be now. So even the deceit and folly, the lying to yourself is connected to that in some way. And we'll learn exactly what that is later. We got the Cruel Oath, which is 9S's starting weapon. Once long ago, there was a group of 7 boys who were born in the same village. Though they were not brothers by blood, they treated each other as family. One cold night, a fortune teller appeared and warned of a traitor among them. The boys laughed it off and went about their business, but the next morning one of them lay dead. With each passing night, another boy died. The survivors grew more and more suspicious of each other. That's sus, each harboring terrible doubts about what happened to their brothers. On the morning of the 7th day, a single survivor stood tall. Cleaning the blood from his hands, he chuckled to himself. Better go find the traitor.
Ha.
So yeah,
Sus Amogus.
Amogus gone wrong.
Fucking Day by Dave made a song. It's called Songus Amogus.
God damn it. So this is a Yora issue blade. This is like the standard blade that most Yora units use. Like when you fight Yora goons in that section of the game, I think most of them are swinging this. And it actually looks like, a proper sword, only with a little weird ring thing
Yeah,
at the...
and
Having a handle that looks like it belongs to a gun.
Yeah, and also it doesn't
Yeah.
have a handguard.
But as far as weapons go, like, these look like mostly like normal katanas. And this
I do
also
wonder
look
why they
fine.
have no guard there, because if something slides down,
Yeah.
then it hits your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, with a hook like that on the sword, it could probably catch a few strikes.
I don't know
in
It's,
about
some
that.
it's not a
circumstances,
It's a
good...
very
but it's
small...
not as effective as it would be to just have a normal.
Yeah.
Also, it can do that you get stuck to your enemy, so you're standing there just staring at it.
And so this is also something connected to Yora. Let's read. Morning, listeners. It's time to kick off another installment of Listener Letters with your favorite radio idol, DJ24D. Now let's get this day started right, shall we? How's it going, listeners? Yeah, I know, you're all still thinking about that cleanup operation yesterday, right? We may have lost a lot of good people, but it's still our job to get up and at 'em, right? Howdy, listeners. Your favorite radio idol, DJ24D, hasn't been receiving many letters lately. Don't you like me anymore? Haha. Or maybe no one's even listening? Wee-hee-hee. Anyway, who's ready to kick things off? Hello? Is anyone there? Am I all alone? I need a bigger gun. That's a song. Is this thing even on? It's me, radio listeners. 24D. I'm an idol, remember? An idol. An idol, 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 an idol. That Japanese thing about just repeating something incessantly to show you've gone insane.
It would be cool if it
So-
continued even further beyond.
Outside of the box.
They're
Yeah.
done with Sparrow for any influencers.
Yeah. It's like, oh no one's watching my content.
Oh
I mean,
shit, oh no.
Anymore.
If that could drive you insane, I would have been nuts ages ago.
Yeah.
Well, you have no one watching your content.
Well, not no one, but not a lot of people.
Are you getting views?
I'm getting like single-digit views, but I'm getting more than 0, which I've had for a while.
Cool.
So
Better
yeah,
than-
that's pretty cool. Anyways, Machine Sword, which again it is connected to the machines, so we're gonna have some real stuff. The more old records I read, the more fascinated I become by the species known as humans. We machines must do all we can to preserve these precious artifacts and continue to record their content. I see from these records how important predation and reproduction were to human survival, and yet they viewed such acts as sinful. I wonder why. Fucking base machine noticing the hypocrisy. I found a famous human book today, but after reading it 10 times, it still makes no sense to me. What possible attraction could there be to such a thing? Eureka! It seems the answer was in front of me all along. I am simply incapable of comprehending anything about humanity or the world in general. Ah, how wonderful it is to live in a world swaddled in mystery. So his solution was like, I'm just too dumb,
Well, ignorance is bliss.
I guess. Here we go, Iron Will, always a fun story to read.
Well, there was a swordsman named Guts, and he killed
And the
his
guy-
friends.
Every one of these is like, have you guys read Berserk? Read Berserk though. It's good.
To just have it a red text across it. Read Berserk.
Yeah. The sword's blade, dulled by years of idleness, was, as its name implied, a mere iron hunk. His blood-drenched youth was...
Too big to be a sword.
yeah, little more than a series of rusted memories which grated against its pockmarked steel. Who could wield this hunk of iron now that its edge was gone? Who might love it when all it could do was bash dully against a foe instead of cutting through flesh and bone? Who would devote themselves to such insanity? The sword sighed softly, pleased to finally be at rest. But before it could peacefully crumble into dust, a group of power-hungry fools took it up and denied its reverie anew. Red dust was the weapon's tears. The blood, fat and muscle it tore through was proof of its curse. Now let it hew bone once more. Let it ravage flesh. Let it do all this and more as atonement for its sins.
Red rust.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, when what did it say? Bluntly bash into enemies.
Yeah.
Clang.
Yeah.
Clang.
Okay, I think I mentioned this when we picked it up, because you were like, oh, twins, oh no, NieR, twins, oh no. And I was like, yes, but not because of that reason. Because this story is kind of fucked, and we're gonna get it, and it's a good one. Twin souls were sacrificed to twin gods and bound to an unbreakable dual-bladed axe. Whenever the nicked or damaged, it would instantly repair itself. The two blades would never part. They would be together for the rest of time. The souls and the blade yearned to be as one, to grow old as one, to fall in love as one. It is why we both love the same person. I am myself. I am myself. Look at me. Look at me. Give me love. Give me love. Stop copying me. I'm not. We are together. We are one. Life or death. Even if we kill our foes, even if we kill each other, our two bodies will be as one for all time. Someone separate us. Oh God, please, someone help me.
Whew.
Something about that last one just fucks me up, man.
It goes from, we wanna be one, to, hey, stop copying me, to, oh God, please.
Please take us apart. Jesus Christ.
Before you go to the next one.
Yeah?
It sounds like kind of Siamese twins or what it's called.
Yeah.
You've played Arkham City. The Mr. Hammer and Mr. Sickle have one arm because they were twins.
I don't remember that at all.
They were mini bosses, and you can find them after.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, and you can find them after you defeated both of them together, sitting side by side, with their arms together, with their not arms together.
Weird.
And like, hey, it's good to be back.
Interesting. I don't know if I ever saw that. So
It's a Riddler.
Beast Lord even. We've already read Beast Curse. And we're continuing kind of that thing. Once upon a time there were 3 princesses. The eldest princess was thought by all to be the most brilliant woman in the kingdom, and she soon sat upon the throne of her homeland as their queen. The new queen raised a mighty army. To afford the endeavor, she taxed her people, and in turn they were given jobs in new factories created to support the war effort. People worked, money flowed. As the army grew strong, the demand for factories grew with it. And then the cycle repeated. More work, more money, more work, more money. The queen's plan proceeded just as she had envisioned it. To further strengthen the kingdom, we were converted to machines to enhance our output in factories and the military. Our queen in turn became the control system that rules us to this day.
Huh?
That's like some weird cyberpunk shit.
Yep.
Told in 4 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's at all connected to like the lore.
No.
Like the Beast Lord has been around since before this game.
Mm-hmm.
So as a phoenix sword, let's read this one. One day, a hawk lost its way in the woods. Its proud wings soon grew weak as it tried in vain to find its way home. As death approached, a songbird took pity on the hawk and did its best to offer aid. The songbird slowly nursed the black hawk to health. The beautiful sight of the small white bird nestled in the elegant wings of the hawk soon made it the envy of all the creatures in the forest. When the hawk was fully healed, it knew the time had come to leave the forest. But before flying away, it promised the songbird it would one day return. In turn, the songbird gave the hawk one of its shining feathers as a token of its friendship. As promised, the hawk eventually returned, with a human in tow. Well done, said the human. These feathers will sell for a great price at the market. Then he slew the songbird in one blow and plucked its carcass clean. Moral of the story, never help anybody.
No good deed go unpunished.
Yeah. Type 40 blade, let's go. Oh, I just realized. One of these weapons... One of these weapons we can't read, not yet.
Do you want us to close our eyes in case you want to see?
I just remember... Okay. So there's one weapon. I'll tell you how to get it after we've gone past the point where you can get them. But you can get fist weapons that look like machine heads. We're not going to read that one right now. Because of a reason. So anyway, Type 40 blade. Development Journal 0504 Takada. I've come with an incredible idea. Something no one has ever done before. I'm going to start testing out first thing in the morning. 0704 Takada. The boss turned down my idea of infusing metallic alloys with magical elements. Thrice damned fooled. Doesn't he see how much money we can make from this? 1201 Takada. Things aren't going well. My hair is falling out. I think it's the stress. I gotta find a way to make this project succeed, and soon. Then we got 1215 Fujita. New name. I looked over the data, but couldn't work out the problem. I'm not giving up though. With Takada dead, it's up to me. I'm the only one who can carry on his work. So, yeah, something killed my man, Takada. RIP. Type 3 blade. The great sword was known for the intense pain it inflicted upon its victim. This is what drove the man to carry it despite its weight, for he knew it would make others fear him, and thus could he avoid needless conflict. The man's reputation spread through the village despite never having drawn the blade. Don't make him use that horrid weapon, the villagers whispered. The man smiled at this, for he knew that fear was the best path to peace. Soon the man had craftsmen forge a host of similar weapons. He gave them to all other villagers in the hope that it would force people to solve conflicts with words instead of violence. And this plan worked, for a while. Keeping all sides in check is simple when no one uses their power. But once that seal is broken, the end is nigh. Thus did the peaceful village transform itself into living hell over the space of a single night. It's enough that one person pulls out that sword. This feels like fucking Hideo Kojima wrote it. It's like, it feels like a metaphor for like nuclear deterrence.
Basically.
As soon as one country fires nuke, it's all over. Virtuous Treaty. Big sword that 2B starts with. Okay, so this was probably written in katakana in Japanese, which is one writing system usually used for loan words. I think the machines talk in all katakana, and it makes it seem like less refined, more blunt. Anyways, first encounter with my lover. Failed to connect with my lover. Far away went my lover. With death went my lover to eternity. So that's just like a poem. I can't say I entirely understand this poem, but I guess it's a neat thing to do as well. Having every weapon story be like paragraphs of text might not be the best. Cruel Blood Oath. This one is hidden in the desert. There's a hacking door you need to do. We missed that on Route B. That's fine though. I'll never forget the time we met. I knew ours was a love that would last for eternity. But even when by his side, his feelings were a mystery. It was painful not to know what he was thinking. So painful. When I was close, I heard him. Yet being distant hurt him more. I finally find my place in life. A place where I am as close as possible, yet eternally distant. So there's a lot there in very little actual information. I kinda like this one. This is Sage. Machine Axe. Human fight. Why? Why humans love? Why do humans band together? You. Why are you alive?
Good question. Next question, please.
Very short, very pointed. You see the language get more and more correct each line, and then it hits you with a "Why are you alive?" Though. Phoenix lands. We're going into Spears now, about halfway. Legends tell of a mighty warrior who had no equal in battle. Granted immortality by a phoenix, he wandered from war to war, forever searching for ways to prove his strength. Eventually, the man's immortal body proved too much for his spirit, and he ran himself through with his own spear again and again. But each time he did, the wound closed over itself, leaving not even a scar. Yeah, immortality tends to suck in fiction. Eventually it starts to suck. He leapt from cliffs, threw himself into raging seas and lit himself aflame, but nothing worked. Then one day he slipped mercifully into unconsciousness, and awoke centuries later to find a songbird on his chest. "You have atoned for your sins," said the bird. "If you wish me to free you from your solitary existence, I will gladly do so." The man wept tears of joy and whispered thanks to the gods before suddenly stomping the bird to death. I don't know, this songbird that keeps reappearing in the Phoenix weapons, I don't seem to be destined for greatness exactly.
No.
Oh, we hadn't read the Beast Curse. We have read Beast Lord and Beast
Bane.
Bane, thank you. Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses. The youngest princess was widely regarded as the ugliest woman in all the land, but her heart was gentle, honest, and pure. Hoping to aid others in need, the young princess would travel to the fields to offer succor to peasants. I don't know how to say that word. Is it succor? She offered suck to peasants.
Sucker is a word, but it is like ease and whatnot.
Yeah. But they would reject her kindness with cruel words, because she was that fucking ugly, damn bitch. The youngest princess knew her looks were driving people away, yet she kept donating her life to the service of others, figuring that the fault was in her own lack of devotion. Day after day this continued, for years without end. The youngest princess died alone, curled in the back of a damp, wet alley. She was so ugly that no one had the courage to give her a proper burial. Instead she rotted where she lay, turning ever uglier until she faded into the earth.
That is just sad.
Yeah. I guess the message here is, damn, people are vain.
People are vain.
Ugly people die in alleys.
Dragoon.
Yeah, here's the dragon
Symbol
dragoon
for bond between a
lands.
lord and an old dragon.
I had a dream about the day we met. He was small, he was insignificant, he was weak, yet he hated the world just as I did. I decided to aid him, and he did the same for me. Thus was a friendship born. It wasn't perfect, of course. Mistakes were made along the way. Still, we remained friends. The blue wind that caresses these grasslands has a pleasing scent. I bring my cheek to his, and he twitches, almost as if tickled. Then I spread my wings and let him ride me into the skies above. So this is 100% Angelos and Kaim. So it is indeed the Dragoon lands. I also enjoy that they keep making it more and more explicit that hell yeah, the dragon and the dude was fucking. Spear of the Usurper, and you might recall that this was the weapon used by the king of Assad as well.
Yes, I do.
In a distant kingdom there lived 2 princes. The son of the queen consort was clever of mind but weak of flesh. The son of the king's second wife was dim-witted, yet charming, and quite gifted in the art of war. Which prince would succeed the throne? When news came down that the king had died in battle, the 2 men each declared themselves the next true king, rallying the people to take the side of one or the other. In the midst of his coronation battle, a 3rd man appeared claiming to be a prince. Bright, capable, and brave, he dispatched the 2 foolish brothers and went on to become a wise and just king beloved by all. Decades later, the king announced on his deathbed that he wasn't royalty at all, but in fact the son of a commoner. Upon hearing this revelation, the people stormed the castle and hung their beloved ruler from the rafters.
Damn, they were fasted too.
Bitch, you ain't a king? Even though you've been a king for ages and been really good at it? You're not born with the fucking blue blood of
And
a king.
and you're lying there dying. Oh, we're just gonna hang you up in the
Oh
rafters.
fuck, he's dying. Quickly hang him.
Yeah, quickly before he takes his
Before he
life.
does it himself.
Fucking, that's Conrad curse shit. Oh shit, he's going to kill himself. Better mutilate him and kill him.
Yeah. Type 40 Lance, Yora. Hi guys, it's me, 42S, your favorite Yora Squadron idol from North 12C Defense HQ. Again with the Yora and idols. What's up with that?
I don't know.
By the way, 42S, that implies a lot of S models. I'm here with the latest hot scoops from the front line, so let's get out there and do our best, alright? Go team! Hey ho, battlefield buddies, I'm not gonna lie here. The current war situation isn't looking too optimistic. But we're expecting reinforcements from our orbiting satellite bases any moment, so don't give up yet. Glory to mankind! Mayday! Mayday! This is Publicity Agent 42S from North 12C Defense HQ. Is anyone listening? Our facility has been completely surrounded by machines. I don't know how much longer we can hold.
Yep.
That's about right.
Yep.
Type 3 Lance. The unadorned lance pierced her foes with machine-like accuracy. The grind of metal and bone in tandem with the pained screams of her victims created sweet music in the mercenary girl's ear. Day after day, she returned to the battlefield to compose more music. Here, a giant of a man, fat, rippling from his sides. There, a slimmer gentleman whose bones would surely produce a sweeter sound. Ah, who to stab first? The girl fought for an age, stabbing uncountable foes in an effort to find the ideal scream, that sonorous bone-grinding sound. Yet perfection eluded her, no matter how hard she tried. Would she ever find what she sought? Suddenly, she turned to find a fine-looking hunk of meat at her side. Stabbing it produced a scream so pure she couldn't help but smile. She continued to smile as she stabbed, no longer able to recall that the hunk was her own child. And that's just fucking Drakengard, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's just Yoko Taro being...
That's... what's her name? Fucking hell, the Drakengard parties.
Are you thinking of Ariosh?
Yes. Aryo, stop eating babies, you creep, says the pervert.
Says the pedophile, yeah?
Yeah.
Man, all of you are awful people, says the pedophile.
And
Then it's
everybody's
bad.
Like...
I lost my eyesight. Why the fuck did you just lose hair?
I lost my eyesight. That guy can't talk anymore. That guy can't grow up.
That guy...
And you're bald. This isn't fair.
Fucking... Aryo, why is she even in the party?
I don't know. They just
Maybe
like
they
pick
were
her
just...
up.
She's
Maybe
fucking
they whispered.
Like they roll up on her and they're like, oh, this is an awful fucking child murderess. And she's
Who
like,
eats
hey, I'm
babies?
gonna go with you. And they're like, well, fine, I guess.
Baby
Anyways, Virtuous
eater.
Dignity, the Virtuous Spear. The elegant white spear was crafted by a tyrant as a gift for his wife, whose parents he had killed years earlier. She slipped it under the bed they shared, then later used it to run him through 30 times. I believe we read the first part at some point. The spear's second owner was a courageous bandit fighting mayor. In her later years, her strength faded until one night a pack of young thugs surrounded her and took all that she had, including her life. The third owner was a greedy merchant who lived to swindle customers. Soon she found herself shunned and penniless, and so decided to hang herself. The unused spear rested in a corner of a room as a decoration. The fourth owner was a meek young boy who wanted to aid his sickly younger sister. He gave all of his cause, including his very existence, and that of all else in the world. So, yeah, I see your face. You're like that picture of Leonardo DiCaprio where he's like, and points at the screen.
Point.
Funny that it's connected to this weapon. I'm not entirely sure why, but you know, it is what it is. It also weirdly ties connected these like, because these weapon stories are often like disconnected from everything else. But this one is like, oh yeah, the fourth
Right on the
owner
nose.
was the guy from the last game, which sort of, I don't know, it makes the other parts of the story feel more real.
Mm-hmm.
Got Cruel Arrogance, the evil version. The dark hideous lance was crafted by a beautiful female artisan. As people far and wide praised this design, the artisan's apprentice grew jealous and slew her, the lance itself soon vanishing into the mists of time. The lance's second owner was a puppeteer who had crafted a clockwork doll capable of doing nearly anything. When he put the lance in the doll's hand, she lashed out and pierced the puppeteer's skull right between the eyes.
Drakengard 3?
I don't think so, but I get where you're coming from. The third owner was an infant prince who was gifted the lance by the Queen Regent. She died soon thereafter, and on the night of her funeral the lance vanished from the infant's room, leaving behind only a tiny corpse in the crib. The fourth owner was a simple, honest man who wanted to aid his sickly daughter. He gave all of his cause, including his very existence and that of all else in the world. And that's Papa NieR. That's Gestalt.
Yeah.
So...
That's Barry.
Replicant... fuck, Gestalt. The menu is still super fast, by the way. Again, connected to these spears for some reason. Let's go for the machine spear. My name is Plato1728. Ah, yes. We might return to Plato. I'm a failure of a machine. I was designed for combat, but I can't use weapons. Everyone makes fun of me, and my life is horrible. I am a dumb machine. I got lost during battle and ended up in some kind of factory. I found a whole pile of dolls discarded there. They share the same fate that I do. I'm a foolish machine. Today I had to fight at that factory. All of the dolls got completely destroyed, crushed by my friends and foes, who can do nothing but fight, fight, fight. I activated my cannon and shot everyone there. I'm not sure why I did that. All I know is I decided to fight, because I'm just a stupid, broken machine. So actually, we might revisit Plato because of a music video that is canon to NieR Automata. I see your face, Viggo. Yes, yes.
How there are 3 plays, 2 audio dramas, music videos,
5 concerts.
5 concerts,
6 concerts, maybe.
6 concerts.
I'm not sure. The strategy guide is canon.
Strategy guide, art book.
Yes, art book, absolutely. Also has stories.
Jesus Christ.
So Angel's Folly. We're getting to the fist weapons. We're almost through. Once, there was a demon who held an affinity for angels. He dreamed of serving alongside them and their god, yet cursed the impossibility of it all. Then one day, he came to Earth, bringing himself a step closer to heaven. So already that's a pretty interesting setup. A demon who wants to be an angel. An angel was sent to slay the demon. When the evil one saw his foe, he burst into tears and revealed his plan. Please, the demon begged, you must give me a set of white wings of my very own. The angel agreed to trade a set of white wings for the head of another demon. Overjoyed, the demon killed one of his own and plucked the head right off its still warm body. The angel then led the demon to heaven, where he underwent centuries of the cruelest tortures imaginable. Finally, the pain was so great that he lost consciousness, at which point his dark wings turned the promised shade of white. Getting a slight Bayonetta vibes of like, well, it's not just Bayonetta, but the idea of, hey, angels aren't like kind. Whether or not they're good is debatable. They're not kind.
I mean, in Bayonetta, they're straight up not good.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know. Demon's Cry, the sister weapon to Angel's Folly. Once there was a gentle angel who came to Earth to provide salvation for those in need. Whether it was curing illnesses, offering blessings, or cheering the sad, he was always there when needed. The angel, however, provided aid to sinners and non-believers as well, an act which was strictly forbidden. Each time he did so, a single white feather would fall away from his glorious wings. One day the angel came across a young girl with an illness that pained her deeply, but he could do nothing to help the child, for all his feathers had long since fallen off. The angels cursed both himself and the cruelty of the world. The resulting hatred stained his body and his wings, turning them both black as night. Then, crying tears of blood, he brought his hands to the girl's neck. So yeah, the flip side, as it were. Let's do the type 4 O fists that look like this. For some reason.
Looks like Warhammer terrain.
Warhammer terrain.
Well, no, not Warhammer terrain. It looks like a fucking spore house.
A spore house.
Yeah, a house you'd make in Spore.
In Spore? Oh!
The game Spore.
Yeah, now I know
Oh.
what you're talking about. I
Where y-
guess that's not where my mind would have gone, but sure.
I made a race of penis aliens in Spore.
Of course you did. Everyone did. So anyway, System Yora, unit data uploading. Check out HC. Close IO, duplicate core. Find Yora unit. Updating data, checking data. Purge conversation log. Purge unit data. Purge system data. Exit. So yeah, that don't make a whole lot of sense at this point. We might understand it better later. Type 3 fist. This is what Emil sells right outside the resistance camp, by the way. Angel's Folly and Type 3 fists. And I like them a lot. They look really nice. The man wailed an inhuman scream as he brought his fist down on his opponent's skull. He brought it down again and again and again, until the victim was nothing more than a splatter of blood and bits. The man had a beautiful wife that drove everyone wild with jealousy. They lived a simple, happy life, yet the man always strove to keep his wife safe above all else. One night the man came home to find a stranger in his bed. His wife told him that he had forced himself on her, at which point the husband flew into rage and vowed to exact revenge. The man bought a weapon from a craftsman famed for forging instruments of pain, then used it to punish his wife, for he could not abide that she failed to protect her virtue. His revenge was complete. So yeah, that's pretty fucked. And sadly not that far away from how it's been and how it is in some places.
Yeah.
In some people. Like the idea that
They look at the
If you get
The-
assaulted, it's the victim's fault.
yeah, or just like, oh, you allowed yourself to be raped. That is faithless towards me. Which is like, fuck, man. How do you get like that?
yeah. Wait. Go back to Type 3 fists. Look at the effects.
Sure.
Endurance up, finish blast.
Endurance up increases defense. Finish blast detonates the final hit of close range combos.
Now I was making a sex joke.
Huh. Fair enough. Virtuous Grief. A fist weapon that's connected to the other virtuous weapons. I see you in my sleep, restless sleep. In my restless dreams I see that town, Silent Hill. My heart flies to pieces each time I wake. I burn to see you in the real world. I hunt for the woman who pines for you. The scream pleases me. Your body and heart shall be mine. Your heart, I long for it, yet it does not return my love in kind. All you care for is your cold, dead wife. So I must at least take your body. Your head is mine, beautiful head. The eyes that scorn me are so lovely now. Hate me if you like, begrudge me all, you're still mine forever. Yep, yandere, as they say.
Yandere.
Cruel lament. I take up the sword and battle for you. My heart knows not fear, instead burning with a love strong and pure. I swing my sword for you, spattering blood across my sleeve. I smile? Fuck.
Smell?
I smile as the chaos continues. I brandish my sword for you. Victims uncountable, victims beyond measure. Their dying wails become the song of my sleep. I cry out, give me your head. I capture you as you flee and take it. I do all this for you. For you. For you.
I read it
Who are
wrong.
you?
I read
Who the fuck are you?
I read it a bit wrong, so I cry out, give me head.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, that is quite a twist in the end. Who are you?
Yeah. Makes me think of... I'll try to say this without spoilers for edge runners, but there's such a great line near the end where like this one villain turns to like the big boss henchman kind of guy, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta fight the hero and win," and the henchman guy is like, "Who the fuck are you?"
True.
Which is great. If you know, you know.
Chumba.
Would you mind closing your eyes real quick, and I'll check if there's actually spoilers here. No, I think this is fine. You can look. I lack parts. I am useless. My existence is unnecessary. I tried so hard, mommy. So that's
I tried
that
so hard
and got so far. So that's pretty good, all things considered. For being that short. Okay, so we have 2 more weapons, and these are guest weapons. Final Fantasy 15 and Dragon Quest, whatever fucking number they're on, like 11 maybe. I don't know.
Dragon Quest 26.
I don't know if there's that many, but sure. I think there's more Dragon Quests than there are Final Fantasies, but I'm not sure. Engine Blade. A small prince rests alone in a vast bedroom. He wishes his father knew how much he hates sleeping alone, but he doesn't dare to tell him, for the king is a very busy man and must not be disturbed. A king sits alone in his vast office, drowning in affairs of state. All he wants is to see his family and hug his son, but he cannot, for his every waking moment must be spent in service of the people. One day, while eating dinner, the king asks his son what he most desires in the world. He hopes he will say that he wants them to spend more time together, but instead the boy simply points at a sword hanging on the wall. The ancient sword is considered a sign that one is ready to rule. Someday, the king chuckles. His son faintly smiles back at him. All he really wanted was for his father to read him a bedtime story. So, I think this is connected to like the main character of Final Fantasy 15, who I believe is a prince. I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy 15.
Me neither.
7 is the one with Sephiroth
Yes.
and Gunnar Man.
Yes. Barrett? Is that his name?
That's a cool name.
That's a pretty cool name. 15 is the
Bust.
one where you take your boy band friends, your pretty boy friends, and you all dress in matching black, and you take your black car and you go road tripping.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know anything
There's
else.
a lot of cooking in it, apparently.
What?
Yeah, you got like one of your pretty boyfriends likes to cook, so he cooks for you and he like collects recipes. I think it's like they're like all himbos. I'm not sure.
Himbo?
Himbos, like a bimbo, but a dude.
Himbos.
I don't know. They look like himbos. They're very pretty. I hear
Very
the game is
pretty,
not very
but no.
good, and like you need to watch the tie-in anime to get the story.
Oh god.
And the Cypress stick. Last one.
Eek.
I was in a dead sleep when Mum started shouting. Wakey, wakey, she squawked. Rise and shine. Today's a very important day. Today's your first visit to the castle. Annoying, right? But I got up anyway. Today's my 16th birthday, and I have an audience with the king. Mom's apparently worried that he'll charge me with some big important task. So she gave me a cypress stick for some reason. Pfft, like that'll help. As we walk to the castle, Mum keeps blabbing about how excited she is and how long she's been waiting for this day. She's told me this story 1,000,001 times, so I just keep quiet like always. When we arrive, I see my friend coming out of the castle. He's 16 too, but his fearless gaze makes him look like a legendary hero to be. I'm sure he's got a lot to live up to. My dad's just a carpenter, so I got it easy. Heh. I don't know much about Dragon Quest. What I can do before we round off is equip the engine blade here and the cypress stick here and show you. Well, first of all, look at that treasure chest.
Ooh.
It is now a Dragon Quest treasure chest. Let me find some enemies.
Proposal. Unit A2 should
Oh,
stay
maybe I need
protected.
to actually... I removed... Oh, do I have space for it?
Could make a new one.
I could make a new one. Let me see where I have my... Oh, that's 3. That's huge. Let me put on... Oh yeah, it's got damage values on, so let me just equip this.
What did I just
Let's find some
If
robots
an
actually.
attending support unit is not provided with
I'm
data
noticeably
related to the
slower,
activity
actually.
of its target, it is programmed to automatically repeat the request
There we go.
every 30 seconds until such data is made available. Proposal. Unit A2 should state her intentions. Needlessly
And,
repeating conversations on
engine
the same
blade.
topic is
First
a
of
waste
all-
of energy resources.
You're the one who keeps
That's some
talking.
cool dodges.
Yep. Do we have any more enemies over here? We have a moose. And if you look at that, the
It's
damage
a
numbers are
different
now
color.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, does it change the chest as well?
Better shut
I
off
don't
your
think so,
pain
no.
circuits.
Shut off your pain circuits, moose.
Moose.
So that is all weapons except one. And the next weapon is gonna require a quest that we're gonna do on this save file as well. Probably next time. I think that's a good time to do that. What did I have here? Actually, let me put the engine blade there, why not? It's fun too. Did I you wanna see my plugin ships actually? Let me fuck.
It took away damage values.
I took away damage values to make space for more. I love that I can do that. I got some weapon attack ups. The diamond means they're about as efficient as they can get. So this should be a 25% increase in damage. Range attack up. Last stand is one that I shoved in because I had space. Raises my attack power just a little bit when I'm at low health. Counter +2 is just counter, but you also send back some damage. Offensive heal is important. I even used ones that weren't optimal because I don't have the energy to grind for them. And I'll show that as well. Auto heal, moving speed, overclock is which time auto collect items because fuck man. And evasive system we have as well. Let's see if I
30
can.
seconds have passed. Proposal. Unit A2 should state her intentions.
Stop! My intention
Are there any
is
enemies
to
down
beat
here,
the hell
perhaps?
out of every goddamn machine I can find. Is that enough for you?
Here we go.
Affirmative.
Cause
Scanning and marking of nearby machine life forms complete.
I released the
Aligned class
limiter
enemies
to go
detected in
berserk.
desert area. Proposal.
And
Aligned
by
class enemies
offensively
should be
healing,
destroyed.
Don't tell me
I
what to
keep
do.
my health up.
Pods are not authorized to issue commands. Proposals are merely recommendations.
With deadly
based on
heal
data
and
provided
the
by
other
Unit
one.
A2. Proposal. Unit A2 should state
And
updated
berserk mode
intentions
is
in
really
order to
powerful.
secure more usable data.
Until
Shut
this happens.
the hell up.
Negative. This pod is engaging in activity based on the final order of Unit 2B. Your
Yeah, who
Unit
cares about
A2
2B?
lacks
Says
the ability
A2.
to issue commands.
Look, just
What?
stay out of my way.
Affirmative.
And also she loses clothing when she does that. Just like to be when she explodes. You might notice that her belly is now exposed. And honestly, looking at her like this, it seems like all the apparent clothing is just black colored machine, like metal parts. And the rest is skin colored metal parts.
It really looks like
Yeah.
it.
Because she's an earlier model, she's less advanced. Anyways, on the next episode, I think we're gonna do a certain quest involving a certain meal. So, join us for that.